why I feel in the face of all the problems in the world impotent, and why I somehow cannot manage to transform I. Now here we get to the real problem, because we're always telling each other that we should be different. Now, I'm not going to tell you that tonight. Why not? Because I know you can't. Nor can I. That may sound depressing, but I'll tell you it isn't. It's very hard. But everybody, you see, who is at all sensitive and awake to their own problems and human problems is trying to change himself. We know we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. So when we are aware of the ego I, we are aware of this chronic tension inside ourselves. And that's not us. It's a futile tension. So when we get the illusion, the image of ourselves, married to a futile tension, you've got an illusion married to a futility.
Good morning, or afternoon. It's morning somewhere. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. Let's dive straight into this Bitcoin analysis. We've got a lot to talk about today, particularly the predicted bullishness and its apparent continuation. So, with all these facts in mind, I forgot to open the YouTube comments for this video. So let's pop that open, see what you guys have to say. Do remember to ask what coins you want me to look at. I'd be happy to do so for you. So, trend continuation is possible, and it is implied. That's the number one thing I have to say. Last night's stream, it was about 2 a.m. today, actually, so 14 hours ago. Let's go ahead and line that up. Beautiful. Right, so around that candle, about 3% ago, we did actually get the signal. It was this candle right here, this cross, right? It was implied we would see bullish continuation. Okay? Why? Because we had every single wave PM period below the 0.7 value, and they were all expanding in the same direction. And even now, we have all our CCI periods weighted on the same side. And even now, all of our 3D wave PM periods are lighting up in unison. All of those imply trend, and the CCI implies bullishness. So, I forgot to record this. It's fine. We're just going to continue the rant. I'm not even using Snap Camera. Dude, okay. Shh. My God, if that... I'm not even using Snap Camera. Dude, let's try that again. So, we have implied bullish continuation. Every single wave PM period is lighting up in the same direction. Our wave PM cross is happening with every value below 0.7, and all of our CCI periods are weighted positively. Right? What does that result in? It results in an upward trend, a supposedly stable upward trend. What I predicted that this would be a rejection level for the following reason. Volatility overhead. When your longest overexpanded period, which currently is the 225 period, as long as that remains above the 0.7 value, which is represented by the red and yellow colors, price will trade laterally as defined by that compressing band. So price would be contained by this compressing band, as long as it was above 0.7. Honestly, that compression happened faster than I anticipated. It's not really something you can predict, right? Because the closer to the mean you get, the more confined your data set, and the quicker your data set will compress. So, with this in mind, because it is below the 0.7 value, it means price can reasonably trend outside of the longest overexpanded period's 1.25 standard deviation, which is the pivot point for the expansion or compression of a distribution. So, with that in mind, if we have bullish CCI signals, bullish wave PM signals, and bullish 3D wave PM signals, even though we're right below a resistance, the signals say up. And the resistance as defined by volatility theory has evaporated, and even though I have a bearish bias at this time, I am forced to predict bullishness simply because that's what my indicators tell me. I want to be bearish. I want to be bearish right now. I want to see retrace. I want to see mean reversion pivots crossed. I want a tight compressing range for accumulation. All right? However, a higher high is not unreasonable. I would even consider a higher high at the bare minimum probable. On our daily chart, our longest overexpanded period is the 130 period. So let's go ahead and plug that in here. And we're going to use this as well, the 1/10th period. And let's actually just do the complete set so you know all of our pivots. There we go. Nice. So, the mean inversion condition currently is not active. That's particularly important because if we are sustained above the longest overexpanded period's 1.25 standard deviation, it means that trend is sustained, trend will continue. Bitcoin is in an upward trend. Even though the parabola is broken, as defined by volatility theory, we're in an upward trend. Okay? Now, trend can be defined on multiple different time frames. Trend as defined here on the 1 hour chart, or excuse me, the 4 hour chart, it actually ended on this candle, this exact candle, and I'll draw a vertical line there. Right, so trend was over and implied lateral trading there, which made it an excellent short entry, right? And we saw retracement to the daily 1.25 of the longest overexpanded period, which was this pivot right here. And another interesting thing is this pivot was actually the mean reversion target of this trade, or rather of this initial short condition. So it would have been nice to see a lower low and re-entry of the 1.25 of the daily LOXP. You can figure out what that abbreviation means pretty easily. But that was not the case. Price sustained above, and the actual compressing range at the 4 hour chart is over. And again, higher highs are viable. So, how do I want to play this? That's the real question. I can rant about the past as long as I want, but unless I give you guys a reasonable game plan as for what to do, well, what's the point? So, at this time, I believe the 4 hour chart, even though it had the bullish signal, it happened to 3% ago, and jumping on that train is a bit late. So, currently at this time, I now recognize this as chop. Even though we had the initial upward expansion, it is likely we'll just see a trickling upward trend. There's really not much we can predict on this condition. Other than that, the direction will be slightly up. Okay? Now, if we actually see the compression of the 14 period, which would mean price just goes sideways, it would actually allow for converse expansion, where we would start to see a downward expansion instead, which in turn would lead to downward trend, right? It's hard to give calls based on expansionary wave PM signals because of how short-lived they are. I mean, we're talking about a period of days here, so yes, you can set a bullish condition on the daily chart and say go to the 15-minute and trade with bullish intentions to quite some success. Actually, that's probably what I'm going to do as soon as this live stream is over. That's a pretty nice trend line, now that I look at it. Huh. It's a little bit too obvious. I bet you $1 price is going to dip down below and then continue. But what do I know? Actually, we do have a longest overexpanded period here. And that makes this, what I just drew, surprisingly probable. Here, I'll point it out to you. And really, goodness gracious, I am just in love with the new 3.2 to the 1/10th that I came up with. So I'm just going to change this to 180, 18. And sure, you're watching a minute about the 5-minute chart, but it's going to be educational and teach you how to use my indicators, so don't complain. Awesome. Like, those short signals are just uncanny, right? So we get the activation of the condition here when we re-enter the band, which implies bearishness. It implies a bearish condition. The slope of probability volatility is up, which means price can trickle to the upside and still maintain the bearish condition. And as you can see, we're still above the 0.7 period, which means... Ooh, the trend line's breaking. Hooray. Which means price will be contained by that band. My kava's almost done steeping. Hooray. So... our short entries would be this candle and this candle as defined by the 3.21 or of the 1/10. Okay, and currently our bearish target is this bad boy right here, right? This mean. So I don't think crossing this mean right here, and I'm just going to draw it as a trend line for the time being. Let's see if that matches up with any pivots. Oh my God, I was right. So help me God, we're going to drop to this in a single candle just to watch, and then bounce and see trend continuation. It's just ridiculous. Actually, I wouldn't actually bet on the trend continuation, just the mean inversion itself, right? We just saw two separate short entries, and now it's going to trend down to the mean, and I'm not in the position, and I'm annoyed. Because that's 1.2% on the proper leverage. That's a huge gain. Speaking of 15-minute chart, I don't think we have any significant data up here. We do. Never mind. We have our own longest to go over. It's also 180. That's very nice. And as you can see, it's maintaining that pivot. Wow! Oh my God. There's so much confluence here. I really like this. Huh. So we can actually get a bearish mean inversion condition here as well. Because if we actually do trend down to the mean inversion here on the 5-minute chart, I might just enter a short. Wow. It would activate this bearish mean inversion condition, which would imply our reversion down to this mean. Oh my goodness. And that 1.2%, right? Well, this bearish condition that we activated on the 5-minute is going to have a 3% upside. Oh my God. With very little risk. So I'm actually hoping I get another entry signal on this. I hope it pops back up to the upside, because when this bearish condition on the 5-minute chart completes, it's going to trigger the bearish condition on the 15-minute chart. Oh my God. And then you're going to be in a highly leveraged position on the scale of the 5-minute, but you're going to be able to take profits that would be associated with that much leverage on a higher time frame. It is just so clean, and I get hyped about this kind of thing. Okay, what else do I have to say? That's it. That's all I want to say about Bitcoin. I just gave you my trade setup for the evening. I'm super excited to see how this plays out. My God, is it still? Don't drop. Come on. Man. Well, at least you know the strategy works. This could be the local top for Bitcoin, like right now, this very second. Because this would define the end of the short-term uptrend. And then mean reversion of the 15-minute chart is probably quite likely to trigger the mean. Let's draw the mean in, okay? So this would be the target of mean reversion on the 15-minute. And then on the 1-hour chart, oh my God, are you ready for this? Let's incorporate volatility overhead just so we get an accurate reading. 200. Actually, no. Okay, so this 1-hour mean reversion would actually still have the trend be defined on the 4-hour, so. The beauty of trading. So many differing paths to consider. I had some crispy basil duck from a Korean restaurant, or excuse me, a Thai restaurant today. My God. It was not overbreaded, and the pieces were super small, so they got fried perfectly. I was just in love. Very much recommend it. No, I'm not giving you its name or location. That will dox me. Okay, that's it. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make sure you like this TradingView idea. It means the world to me. If I could actually get some decent analysis on the front page of the TradingView Ideas General, well, that would be a game changer, wouldn't it? For both me and for anyone who actually reads the ideas, or watches them in this case. So, your patronage is greatly appreciated. I will see you later. I just begged for likes. You heard me. I'm gonna drink this kava. Wish me luck. It's gonna taste like... what does kava taste like? Ashwagandha tastes like horsehair, but I'm not sure what kava tastes like. Oh, it's so nasty. I've learned you can brew it in lemonade and you can't taste anything. But, dude, I can't drink lemonade like 5 times a day. That's ridiculous. Bro, problem not broken. You're realizing I'm talking about a... What are you looking at here, man? From... You're on the daily. Just a little confused. Okay. This was throwing me off. I was supposed to look at this scale, eh? Okay. I'm talking about the daily parabola, mate, like the long-term parabola. You're looking at far too micro of a scale. Observe. Oops. Hey, that's aesthetic, though. I like just having the charts there. I would like just this one, please. Okay, watch. This parabola is broken. This, I don't care about that. YouTube comments. Okay. Oh, I didn't even go over Binance. My bad. I should have put that in the idea. So, Binance is closing its doors to U.S. users in 3 months. So what do people do? They sell their altcoins and they buy Bitcoin and they send it to another exchange. So that means people are buying Bitcoin, which means price goes up. That was today's Bitcoin fundamental analysis. That's all you need. All right, a lot of YouTube comments. Thanks for everything, brother. My pleasure. If you give me the ticker, it is very. Okay. I cannot. Sorry. I can, however, would like CMT, which already had 40%, but wants to do more. Sure, we can define trend on that. CMT, BTC. Oh, okay, damn, dude. I see what you're playing at here, but, dude, come on. When you look at that daily chart, it's a bit hard. Sure, I bet it's super compressed on the 4-hour, but, you know, look at this. Look at that. What happened when it did it this time. Okay, it had a max drawdown of 16% before trend continuation, which is nice. So in this scenario, man, you're playing with fire. I'll tell you that much. And this isn't typical parabolic price action. Sure, there's the initial buying pressure, but it really fades off pretty quickly. So I'm kind of curious what sparked the secondary rally. Because that's almost 100% retrace, and that's atypical for a parabolic move. I mean, the most basic explanation is this is accumulation and this is markup, but I don't want to play that game. I can't really define the locks yet because it's still in a rapid state of expansion and it's not attractive. I don't know, man. You can try to quad CCI it. That might treat you well on the 15-minute, but other than that, I don't know. I no longer have the context for this. Where do you look in the 3D to find the locks? The red blooms. Oh god, dude, you commented a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ben. 8,500 bouncing. Mark those words. Sure. Maybe. Please explain overhead. I cannot. Not easily. It's when you have higher periods that have been overexpanded and then they have not yet returned to a state of potential energy despite your shorter term periods actively attempting to expand them. That's volatility overhead. This is the 1.25 standard deviation locks on the 1 hour. Dude, you're totally right. It might bounce here. There is the active mean inversion condition on the shorter time frame, so on the 5-minute. So it could all topple like dominoes here, but I would totally be okay with trend continuation at this time. 4-hour chart does support bullish moves. I got it at the top of CMT and want to buy back lower. I don't know, man. I'm not going to try to retracement trade this. I don't have the readings to do so. BNB lost 20% yesterday. It's pretty funny. Good old-fashioned panic selling. You know, it's compressing nicely today. Downward expansion is implied, though, so long-term mean inversion might be incoming. I think this rally might be over. I bought BNB here and I sold it here, and I'm a goddamn idiot. Because if I just actually held BNB here, and I just held it, like including the increase in USD price, I would have killed it. My god. But alas, the shame of a scalper. I didn't expect a bull run so soon. How'd you know, dear ship? 10. I figured. Oh, I forgot to close the screen door. Okay, well, viewership's better at 1 p.m. and when I have clothes on, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. MST. Make sure you like this video. Do yourself a solid and don't over leverage. Ever. Good on you, Sean. Happy for you, mate. Okay, I'm done. Bye. That's the wrong hotkey, this one. Boom.